Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is not your regularly scheduled rapid rating climb video that you get each day. As you can see by the title, this is actually a recap of the tournament that I played in over this past weekend. Just last night, in fact. It is midday Sunday. I just played in it last night here in upstate New York. And yeah, there are 4 games we're going to go through today. I won't spoil anything in terms of wins, draws, and losses and all that sort of stuff, but just know I have at least one of each. So a little bit of a spoiler, but yeah, I'll go through them and talk about the things that I learned and things that I wish I could have done better and those sort of things. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has gotten me over 100 subs. In my last video, I think it was my last one or the one before that, I said if we can get to 100 subs by March 7th, I will do some kind of crazy challenge, like sacking my queen a bunch of times in rapid games and trying to get a winning position or a drawing position. And in less than 12 hours, I think I got 30 subs. So I'm at 113 as of recording this video. So you guys smashed it, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. I read every single comment on every video. And I basically respond to every single comment unless it's something that I don't think needs responding to. And some of you have said some of the nicest things ever. I know one person was like, this is like my nighttime routine to watch your videos. And I'm like, that's so nice. I'm just like a regular schmegular Joe. Feel free to skip ahead if you kind of want to just watch the recaps. But yeah, it just means a lot that you guys would watch my videos. Again, I literally just a regular dude. Like I just work a 9 to 5 sort of thing. I graduated grad school last year. Like chess isn't like a career or like, I'm not making anything out of this. So the fact that a lot of you guys, find enjoyment from watching my videos, it means a lot. So thank you so much. I will carry on with the challenge. Put some comments in the comment something in the comment section below for a kind of challenge you'd want to see. I think I'm going to try and do like 3 rapid games in a row, just sacking my queen and seeing what happens. That's basically just me straight up losing about 25 elo, but it's fun. Chess is, at the end of the day, it's a board game. Like this is meant to be fun. Sometimes we shouldn't just take it like uber seriously, So yeah, but that's what I'm going to roll with unless people have a better idea. Maybe I'll put up a poll of some sort. I'm not sure just yet. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who is subbed. If you're not subbed, feel free to sub. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. Just come, chill, relax, type a mean comment, and go about your day. I love it as much as, Okay, maybe I don't love it as much as a sub and a nice comment, but still. Anyway, enough filibustering. Let us get into this tournament. We are going to start, I'm going to go out of order in terms of like the actual order of the games. I'm going to start with the 4th game. I played someone by the name of, I don't know how to say it fully. It's Almogir. He was slightly older Indian. I'm in my late 20s. He's probably like early 30s. I'm really bad at gauging ages, maybe mid 30s. He was around a 1500, I believe. Yeah, 1550, and I'm USCF 1330. I probably should have put their ratings and names in here, but that is okay. But yeah, let's get into the game. The reason that I'm starting with this one is because it is a mainline Smith-Morra Gambit accepted, which, as you guys know, if you're regulars here, it's my favorite opening. I love playing it. And I won't go through like the opening moves because it's very basics. They play a Sicilian and I gambit a pawn for activity. And yeah, we'll just go through a bunch of the early basic moves. This is a bad move. If you play the Sicilian and you go into a mainline Smith-Morra accepted, putting your knight on f6 is, you have to do a bunch of preemptive stuff before you can do that. That is something every Smith-Morra player loves to see, is an early development of knight f6. So my next move is the best, or it's actually not the best move. What is the best move? Okay, it's this. This is actually also thematic. I'm going to be pushing this momentarily, but most of the engine lines love when you put the queen here, you castle, you put your rook here in the line of the queen. There's some knight sacks that happen. That didn't happen this game, but nonetheless, I pushed, he pushed here, or he moved his knight here. I developed my bishop. He developed his queen, which I immediately knew was a bad move. Immediately I knew it. I know what he's going for. It's not sneaky. I knew what he was going for, so I quickly just moved my queen here, which is not very good because I wanted to defend this. I also wanted to defend this because he's hitting both of these. I just wanted to do, I knew that wasn't the best move, even though it is thematic. It's always funny, the engine's like, queen e2 is the best move now, but then one move later, it's like, this is a bad move. Well, it's not a bad move, it's just a miss. What did it want me to do? It just wanted me to castle and then give up another pawn, I suppose. Oh yeah, so I guess he has no way of like defending this. I didn't even see that. I was thinking of just giving up this pawn for some kind of activity, but I didn't see what I would do. But yeah, So I do this, he does this, and I just quickly castle. That is the best move. White is already up 1.3. Black is having a hard time developing this bishop because if he ever goes here or here, it's going to spell danger for him. He's put his queen in front of this pawn, so he can't even fianchetto. And if he castles, I have ideas to put my bishop here, do some kind of sacrifice, get this this knight. So it's not looking great for my opponent. So I castle. He brings his knight here, which only helps me, like I said. So I put my bishop here, which is the best move, getting my bishop in the sight of this pawn, discouraging him from castling, which he didn't do. He didn't castle. He put his queen here, which I also knew was a bad move. My opponent's moved his queen, what, 3 times in the opening now? Bad move. I play the best move, which is bishop d2. He plays this move, which I didn't understand. I saw this move and I was like, ooh, yeah, this is very bad. I thought he needed to put his queen here and to get out somehow, because I played the next best move, or sorry, it wasn't the best move. I think this is, actually, if I look at the engine, the move that I played, knight b5, is now considered the best. Well, actually, yeah, it's well, okay. The best move at once is this. It gives +5 for white. I think, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I played this move, attacking the queen, going for this fork. So he puts his, or sorry, not this fork, obviously that's defended. He puts his queen there, which is the best move, and I give a check, which is the best move. Now his king is just out in the open, can't castle. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, bam, right here, nice little skewer. I don't even know the difference between skewer and like, anyway. But I couldn't figure out, let's actually go through the lines right now because I haven't actually analyzed these. But after like this, I just didn't see like any way to like get in. This is now being hit, so I maybe have to do this, but then I don't know. I just didn't see the way that I would actually be winning the queen. I analyzed this for like just a couple minutes. Ooh, and I should quickly mention the time controls for this. I'm realizing I didn't do that. These games are 25 minutes each with a 5-second delay. So that basically means me and my opponent both have 25 minutes, but every single time I hit the clock for my opponent to move, the timer doesn't start going down for 5 seconds. So and later in this game, you'll see why that is to my benefit, because I get in low time control, just something I always typically do. But yeah, so there's no like, I guess 5-second delay is an increment, but you're never getting any more time. You're just at the same time and it starts going down after 5 seconds. Thought that I would mention that. So I put the knight here, which is the best move, just eyeing up this. It's a nice little fork. He plays the best move, which is knight h6. I bring my queen here, just adding more pressure here. There's 3 things attacking this. He only has 2 defenders. I was expecting him to go rook here. It is the best move, rook f8. And he didn't play it. He was waiting like 10 minutes. I was like, this is just such an easy move. I don't know if he just didn't want to give up this pawn, or I don't really know. What is the best move? Yeah, the best move is just to do this and just collect the pawn, and you're now sinking your teeth into, well, I guess not this square, but anyway. Well, I guess you could actually. Let me try this. I don't know if he just does something like random. Could you do something like this? Takes. Nah, this is all bad. Anyway, so I do that. He brings his king here, just trying to get away. I play not a great move. I give a check. It's not a terrible move, but my advantage slightly falls down. He blocks with his knight. And now I play a sequence of terrible moves. My opponent even told me after the game, like, you shouldn't have made these moves. Your advantage basically shattered. I am up 4.5 right now. My opponent's king can't castle. His rook is stuck here. His bishop is never seeing the light of day. And I just start doing a bunch of trades. Bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking, at a certain point, I was like, I really don't know how to continue here, which is going to be a running theme you'll see in a lot of my over the board games. I get a massive advantage, not always massive, but a big advantage, and I just don't know how to convert, so I started doing trades. He does this, which I immediately realized it's just not a great move because I took takes. So the material is even right now. The whole sequence you just saw, I don't know if you were able to follow it, but he got 2 of my knights and a bishop, and I got his rook, a knight, and a pawn. So the material is equal-ish, right? 9-9. I get a rook, knight, and a pawn, and he gets 3 pieces, 2 knights and a bishop. So now I'm stuck with 2 rooks, a bishop, and a queen, and he has 5 pieces, 1 of each, including 2 bishops. So, but I also have a bunch of pawns. These pawns are going to start surging forward, as you'll see momentarily. So I do this, which my advantage completely goes away. I'm up 2.6. My idea was if I do this and he just does some kind of random move, I can do this. Well, okay, just kidding. I won't do that. I'll probably do this move, or what will I do? For some reason, I had the idea to kind of like bring my queen here and deliver some kind of, not checkmate, but I don't know, just get in there and be annoying. He did this move, which was the best move. I wanted a queen trade, because if I get a queen trade and I can start marching these pawns down, I'm pretty happy. He did not want one. I put my rook to the open file, to the semi-open file. He did this, just pretty basic. He wanted to get rid of my dark squared bishop. At this point, I think my opponent now realizes I'm lower on the clock. A lot of my advantage is gone. His pieces are still terrible, but it's even. It's fully even right now. So he has more pieces than me. If he's able to mobilize them, it's going to be pretty tough for me to win this game. So he does this. I think, I'm not actually sure. I think just to hit this pawn, which I see, I push this. And then he does this, trying to fianchetto, and I start pushing my h pawn forward. He does this. I do this. He brings his king back out, presumably to do this. I push this, which is a bad move. This is the best move because I see the knight is pinned. He does this. I do this. And this is where my notation ended, unfortunately. I was super low on the clock. I had less than 30 seconds. He had like 5 or 6 minutes, which I wasn't like super worried about because I knew at the end of the day, because of the 5-second delay, I can play pretty fast if I need to. Does that mean I'll play well? No, but yeah. So basically, I'll kind of quickly summarize. He was able to get his, I'm trying to remember if I did this, then he brought his like, I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I did something like this. He brought his rook over. He basically like ended up winning this pawn. He traded it for his queen. I traded. I started moving my king up. Basically, the whole game liquidated down to a draw. I had a rook. He had a bishop and a pawn. I had a rook and a king, and he had a bishop and a pawn. And that's just super equal because at any point I could sack my rook, take the pawn, and he takes with his king or bishop. And yeah, you obviously can't mate with just a king and a bishop. So this was the 4th game of the tournament. By the way, I should mention, I think I mentioned that earlier, I was exhausted. I was really tired. I was hungry. So I kind of wanted to play something a little bit off the wall. I asked him after the game if he played Sicilian a lot, and he said he's just getting started. And he's like, I kind of don't want to play it anymore now. He told me as soon as he offered a draw, because we were just shuffling our rooks and bishops around, or our rook and bishop around, he was like, he was telling me, he was like, I finally feel like I can breathe. The entire game, he was like, I felt like I was going to get checkmated at any moment. He was a really nice guy. But yeah, so that was the 4th game. I wanted to show it to you guys because I know some of you really like playing this, the Smith-Morra, seeing Smith-Morra games. Yeah, so ended in a draw. And the next game we are going to get into was with a little girl. I can't remember how old she was, like 14, 15 maybe. I'm really bad at guessing people's ages. But yeah, she was I should actually turn this around. She was the white pieces this time. This was actually the very first game of the entire tournament. So she plays e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop out. So she plays an Italian game. And so I played knight f6 and she went for this, which is, I was a little bit annoyed because I was kind of hoping for like a really high level game of like really good positional. And then I saw this and I was like, oh my God, she's trying to swindle me. I had half a mind to like do this whole thing where you go for like I don't know. I can't remember what the theory is though. Like there's some crazy theory where you can like go for an anti whatever. I didn't know it, so I didn't go down it. I played the moves that I'm very familiar with, which is this. She gives a check. I block with my bishop. This is all theory that I know. I see it all the time, especially in my blitz and bullet games. And then she takes, which I knew was which is a bad move. I knew that was the wrong move to make. I've evaluated this position a couple of times, and I know that advantage is for black. So I take castles, and I play something that I knew was not the best move. Castles is the best move you're supposed to do here. This is what the engine likes. I took the pawn because I'm just the kind of person that's like, okay, I feel like if I don't capture the pawn immediately, it's going to get guarded and I'm going to get annoyed being a pawn down, and it's not good. Develops the knight. I bring the queen back, pushes the rook to e1, and I play a bad move. I play bishop d6. Now try and pause the video if you like and see what the best move is for black. It is what she played, striking in the center. Of course, I can't take because I'm pinned. And if I simply just castle, I'm walking into a lot of danger here. I did not want this to happen, so I did not see rookie. Wow. Oh, wait, no. It's telling me what is the best move here. Oh, just to take? Really? Oh, and he can't. I did not see that. I did not see that checkmate. Yeah, I'm really annoyed. Everything in me was like, what I should have played was bishop e7 initially instead of bishop d6. So I bring it back, which is a bad move. I do this, takes, takes, takes. So I find the right sequence of moves to kind of get out of this pickle, but it's 2.9 for my opponent. So it's a bit of a sticky situation. So she plays the best move, which was that. I took, and she first took with the pawn, which was, I felt like was a strong move, not letting me, capture that back after she captured the knight. And so I brought my rook to this file because I felt like it was going to come in at some point, and I just knew I was going to come out with my king, and perhaps this pawn was going to fall. And it feels so dicey with your king out in the open. It's just scary. So yeah, I brought my rook there. I bring my knight back after she pushes h3. She does this fork, which I did see. It's a very simple way to just guard the knight. It's no biggie. She goes rook d1. Well, I guess I should say rook a to d1. And yeah, at this moment, I was like, ooh, I'm definitely on the back foot. I didn't really know. Sometimes when I'm in games over the board, I try and think what the evaluation might be. I kind of assess this as like a 1.5 to 2 to +2. It says +3, basically. So I was doing worse than I initially thought. So I try and centralize my rook, try and get back into the game a little bit. She does this, which is, I figured this was going to be her plan, to kind of push this, dislodge this knight, and potentially take this. Or actually, sorry, to perhaps come here, or I can't really remember exactly. My knight doesn't really have any good squares. So I push this, she comes there, I push the pawn again. I do rook e7, just kind of continuing to guard this, maybe put my other rook behind it. I play a6, discouraging this. She plays this, which I knew this is not a good pawn to take, because I think she can just simply take this, and it's not great for me. And yeah, this is just bad. So didn't go for that. I instead centralized this, and then when she pushed, I knew that I was going to take. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. No, that's not what I ended up doing. She pushed, and I put my knight here. I don't know why my analysis was wrong there. And unfortunately, for a second game, I stopped my notation because I was super low on the clock, which I know is probably pretty frustrating for you guys to see. Basically, I will summarize. Liquidated down to a full draw. I knew it was a full draw. She had a passed pawn because I think she took here. I was able to cap, and then I think she pushed this. I'm trying to remember exactly, but I was able. Obviously, she moved this rook at some point. She didn't just leave it hanging, but it liquidated down to a draw. But unfortunately, I misplayed it. I tried winning a pawn and pushing it, but her pawn was faster. She queened. She took my pawn. I took the queen. So yeah, I took the queen with my king, and then because she was up an extra pawn, she just marched her pawn down, and I resigned. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the full game. I know you guys probably would have liked to see that, but yeah, it was a little bit sad. This was the first game of the tournament, so I was a bit disheartened because I was like, I felt like even after the game, she told me, she was like, that was a full draw. You should have brought your knight to the other side instead of sacking it for whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know, I shouldn't have tried like pushing my pawn because your pawn was further forward. So yeah, first game of the tournament was a loss. So the first game was a loss. Fourth game was a draw. But let's get into the third game. I'm going to take a quick drink of my water. This game, funny enough, was actually against my friend, Cole. If you're watching this, Cole, I love you. Semi-weird thing to say, but he's a fantastic dude. Yeah, so he was the white pieces. I was the black pieces. And he played a mainline Ruy Lopez, the Spanish, one of my favorite openings actually to play. So I pushed. This is just what I tend to do. I don't really deviate too much with the Ruy. Sometimes I'll play this, sometimes I'll play this, sometimes I'll play this. For the most part, I keep it very simple. And a lot of these moves are just very, very standard. I push this because I never really like when the bishop comes here. It's not really a big deal because my bishop is defending it and I can move my queen freely, but as soon as I push this, but I just didn't want it. I knew that was going to help white slightly because it is an inaccuracy. I literally knew it was an inaccuracy, but I still played it. He castles. I pushed d6. opening up my light squared bishop. I don't tend to love my bishop on the long diagonal. Excuse me. Sometimes I like to just get rid of this knight because I find this knight in the Ruy Lopez really bothers me. So she developed, I keep saying she, it is he. I'm thinking of the game before. He develops, and I pin the knight. He pushes h3, and part of me, I thought for like a good 2 or 3 minutes, like, do I want to take, maybe get my knight in here? I just didn't love that, so I pushed back. He created a square for his bishop to go into. I brought my queen here, which I also knew wasn't like the best move, but I was just always thinking like, you never know. If he does this, maybe I get a bit ambitious. Yep, so it literally says knight takes is the best move. And, oh, I guess not that. Oh, I see. I guess this. Right. I guess, yeah, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. I think that was the correct continuation there. Anyway, so I did that. And he blundered. As soon as I saw this move, I didn't immediately think it was a blunder, but when you push a pawn in the center in a position where no pieces have been traded, you really, really have to evaluate it. And he played the move pretty quickly, and I just kind of quickly calculated, and I saw there's 2 different moves that I was thinking of doing. I was thinking of doing bishop takes knight. I know I pushed back, so some of you are like, oh, you're wasting a tempo. But I was thinking if I do this, he takes, I'm just winning a piece basically. What is the best move? It's to do this actually, to counterattack. And what would be my best move is to simply take, and then what? I'm trying to see. Oh, okay, this rook move, I see. And if I take, what happens? Oh, it's in white's advantage actually. Oh, it comes here. Wow, that's very interesting. That's actually very interesting. Anyway, I was thinking of this move initially, but I knew what the best move was in this position, which is the one that I played, which was e takes d4. Takes, and then is when I take back with my knight. Or sorry, with my bishop. He had to take back with the pawn, because again, if he takes with this, he just simply loses a piece. I'm hitting this, I'm hitting this, I'm hitting, well, not this, but you know, it's minus 2.7. This is obviously just very winning. He takes back with the pawn. This is also why I put the queen here, so I could capture this pawn. And then he played this move. And as soon as I saw this, I knew what the winning move was. It was knight e5. And white is just cooked here. The white king has no moves. There's just enough. When I was analyzing this last night when I came back home, I was thinking of like what the best move for white would be in this position. And I was able to actually find it is to counterattack, is to do this. This is, well, actually, I guess it said that's not the best move now. Well, okay, I don't know. I saw this as like the best move because if you do this, you have to sack the queen. Literally, you have to sack the queen. That is the best move because otherwise it is immediate checkmate. Sack this, come here, takes, and at least you get something. It's minus 5.6, minus 5.7. I have one of each piece and you have 2 bishops and 2 rooks. Obviously, it's very lost. The black king is super wide open. I can just start marching my knight in here and my other pieces. It's completely losing. Let me go back a little bit. In this position, my opponent resigned. I saw him like pick up, touch his king, my friend, and I was like, I don't think you can move that. And then he tipped it down, which is, I think I'm going to start doing that when I'm losing and I resign. I might just start tipping my king as opposed to just saying, good game, I resigned, because it is kind of nice. I think it's much more old school. So yeah, this was a nice win to get. Obviously, my opponent was playing perfectly up until that d4 push. Just a simple little tactic, and he ended up resigning. Says I played with, 95.3% accuracy. Could have been higher if I made some, like this I just knew was an inaccuracy. It said I had 1 inaccuracy, or sorry, it said I had 2 inaccuracies actually. 2 good moves. My opponent had only 1 good move. So I knew there were a couple of moves that I was making that weren't perfect, but again, the thing with engines I feel like is like, you just can't evaluate it the same as like when you're a human. It's just, some positions are just easier to play for a human, at least for someone like me. Even if Stockfish is going to say, oh, this is completely winning, but it's just super unclear how you're supposed to proceed, I will prefer doing something that looks way more human, slightly less winning, but it's just much easier to play. So I definitely, So this was the 3rd game of the tournament. Let us get into the 4th and final one. Very interesting game, this one. Let me go ahead and find it. I was the white pieces for this game. and my opponent played a mainline French. Now, if you know me well, if you've been subscribed here for a little while, you know I hate the French. It's one of my least favorite openings. I should probably stop saying that. People are going to probably know this channel and just be like, oh, I'm going to play the French against him. But I don't really care. It's just, I just hate the opening. It just, because it turns into such a draw and a slog. So I'm learning the Tarrasch. It's not a system I know very well, but it is something I've been learning. My opponent went knight e7, which I was like immediately, because I know like it clearly says it's a book move, but this is the most popular move. I think it's the best move, actually. You push, they do this, you develop here, they push c5, and you have a game. So when he developed his knight here, I was like, huh, that's a little bit weird. So I pushed, which I didn't, again, I was like, at some point I'm going to push this pawn. I might as well just do it right now. He pushed this, I pushed my c pawn to defend this. And again, another move that I was like, I don't think this is a very good move. My opponent, by the way, very young kid. I want to say like maybe 10, 11, maybe 12. I'm terrible at guessing ages, but yeah. So I kind of felt like this is a thematic thing in the French and kind of like the Tarrasch opening and other French lines to bring the black queen here. But I thought it was a bit preemptive. Usually you do it when the bishop comes here to do this and then you bring the queen. I don't know. He played this, which I also thought was not perfect. I played this. He played his knight here. And then I played my bishop here. As you can see, the evaluation just is not liking anything me and my opponent are doing. I feel like I'm playing what seems like just very normal moves. But yeah, he took his knight back there because I think if I did this, he didn't really like this. Just kind of doubling his pawns here. He can castle long and maybe create some kind of attack here, but I just don't think he wanted that. So he didn't go for that. He instead pushed his knight back there, which you're moving. I think that knight has moved, what, hold on. I'm trying to think, 2, 3 times now. So not great. So I snap take it, which I kind of thought was the best move. I took here, which was a good move. Bam, bam, bam. And then I played this really stupid knight move into the middle, just completely forgetting that it's defending this pawn. My opponent instantaneously took. I'll tell you what my idea was. It was a really stupid idea. I went here because I was like, oh, okay, if he trades. If he tries to take this free pawn, I win a queen. That was my whole idea. What a stupid thing to try and do in an over-the-board game. To me, to my credit, I should tell you my opponent's ratings, by the way. I'm 1330 USCF, United States Chess Federation. And my opponent was like 1056. So I kind of felt like I could potentially get away with some little neat tricks here and there, but he saw through it and just took the straight up free pawn. It still says white has an advantage here. I gave a check, terrible check. I was a little bit annoyed at this point, and I played queen h5. Eyeing up this, and also thinking of taking this because this pawn is put. That was actually, I was like, okay, I'll be able to win back a pawn, but I also maybe have something like this, and just kind of getting in and being annoying, hitting the queen, potentially doing this, and just kind of making the king a little bit uncomfortable. So he plays this, which is the best move. I take, he pushes this, and I take this as well, because if he takes, then he's just cooked. I guess he could probably do this, or he'd block with this. I was thinking I could potentially win another rook, but no, even this is still just uber winning. So I took this. He castled long, at which point it's like, okay, now I definitely need to move my knight. So I played the best move, attacking the queen. He moved his queen to a very good square, potentially coming this way, which you will see later on. So I made 2 mistakes this game, I personally think. One was that stupid knight move in the middle to try and do a little neat trick, and then short castle. I spent probably 2 or 3 minutes in this position because I knew I was going to castle, but I was like, which way should I castle? And the best move, as you could probably imagine, is to long castle. And yeah, everything in me, my intuition was telling me long castle because you'll be able to hit this pawn. Yeah, he'll probably move his knight, but then you can maybe take this one. I'm already up a pawn. It says it's equal, but I'm up a pawn. I'd rather be up a pawn than not, generally in most positions. But I castled short, and this is where, you'll see. He does this, hitting my queen. I take this pawn, which is also another bad move. And I saw this, and I kept telling myself, I could just play h3. I can just play h3, no biggie. He brings his rook here. Obviously, if I just do something like this, he can, what is his best move? Yeah, you can't take back, and it's almost immediate mate. What is my best move? What is my best move? It's to do this. Just like such a scary move to play. Does this. So yeah, I didn't want that. So I brought my queen back here. He pushed oh, I should also mention from this point onward, my opponent played every best move, just every best move. Some of them were intuitive like this, like trying to go for mate. And then this is also pretty intuitive. This didn't seem immediately intuitive to me, but like as soon as he played it, I was like, okay, I get the idea. He wants to dislodge it and whatever. So I played the best move, which was queen e3. He did this because obviously I knew if I can get a trade in, I would take a trade. But he played the best move, which was moving his king over to g6. And then I played g4, which is the best move to just, because there's just no other way to, like, if I literally, I think if I do any other move, it is just, I'm just about to get cooked. I guess I could do this. Takes. Oh, sorry. Nope, not that. What would have been his best move if I had done this? Okay, to come here. Yeah, just, yeah, hitting the queen. Yeah, anyway, so I pushed this, which is the best move. He did this, which is the best move. And I said I made 2 mistakes this game. I should really say I made 3. I gave this check, which as you can see, it's minus 2.3, which is bad, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. It goes to minus 6.6. Minus 6.6, which is really, really bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking he could come here and I could give this check to potentially win this knight. Are you an idiot? That is guarded. That square is guarded. I don't know what I was thinking. I really have no idea what I was thinking. I played this move and my opponent played a really, really nice brilliancy. He took my g-pawn with his queen. And if you're a high-rated player, you can see all the mates. I have only 2 squares for my king. This is a check, so yeah, I have to respond. Nothing can block. I can't do anything with my king or pawn. I literally have to do something with the queen, the king. I have to move it to g2, h1, or sorry, to h2 or h1 or take. Any one of those moves results in mate. If I do this, this is mate. And if I move to either one of these squares, it's mate on g2. So in this position, I resigned. I just said, good game, dude. Really, really nice move. Looking back, I probably should have just let him, you know, every person, if you're in an over-the-board game or even chess.com, you want the person to let you do the mate. I should have let him do the mate, but yeah, I was a little bit annoyed and salty. This was my second game, so if you remember the first game, I lost to the little girl, Nirvana, which is such an interesting name, by the way. And then this was my second game, and I was like, okay, well, this is just, I was a little bit pissed off because I was like, I just lost 2 games in a row. One of them was a complete draw. This game, I'm winning for a lot of the game, but I play a bunch of stupid moves and end up losing. And then my third game was a win, and then my fourth game was a draw. So 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. Not great. Really not great. But that was my tournament performance. Yeah, overall, lessons learned. I just think this is like the 4th over-the-board tournament I think I've played in since I've moved here. I moved to New York back in October, and I think this is the 4th one I've played in. I can't count the amount of games where I'm just fully winning. I know the evaluation is saying minimum +3 for me. That Smith Morra game, the very first game I showed you guys, +3, +4, but I just don't know how to convert, and I end up either drawing or losing games, which is really, really annoying. I've noticed that's a trend in a lot of my just rapid games on chess.com. It's like, I know I'm winning, but I'm just like, I don't see the right moves, which I think really distinguishes someone who's like, I'm 1850 on chess.com. Like I really should be able to, like a lot of the players that I played today, like none of them I feel like were just completely winning the entire game, except for the one where they played the Italian attacker, where they moved their knight to, what was it? I guess G6 or was it G5? Anyway, trying to do that attack with the bishop and the knight. That was a game where I felt like I was losing a lot of it, but then I got a draw. It was just a complete draw. My opponent was like, that was a draw until, you know, the very end where I tried pushing my pawn and it didn't work. So I think what I really need to work on moving forward is just understanding, like just putting aside like just the stress of doing an over the board tournament and just playing moves that seem very simple, trying not to force things. Because as soon as I'm not able to see a complete win, I just start trying to do a bunch of trades, and sometimes it doesn't end up working in my favor. So yeah, that was the tournament that I participated in. And yeah, hopefully the next one will be better. I think since I've come here, I won tournament, I won 3, lost 1. There's this one where I won 1, drew 1, lost 2. There was another one where I lost 3 and won 1. That one was pretty brutal. And then the very first one I played in was the same record as this one: 1 loss, 1 draw, and 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. So I haven't added all those up. It's 16 in total, but it's not a really great record. I think there's more wins in there than there are losses and draws, so I guess that's something to look out to be happy about. But yeah, I just need to improve my opening repertoire, my middle game tactics, my ability to convert winning positions, and yeah, hopefully the next tournament will be better. I'll maybe play in the one next Saturday. They're weekly. They're every Saturday. They're pretty close by. So maybe I'll participate in that one, but I'll probably try and do like an every other week sort of thing, because I feel like if I start playing every Saturday, it's just gonna or every single week, it's gonna get to me. And yeah, so thank you so much if you are still here. I know it's well past me actually recapping the videos, or sorry, the games. Yeah, and I will see you guys tomorrow for your regularly scheduled rapid rating climb video that I know you guys all love to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.